Our last Q&A of the year. We're not going to have a Q&A next Monday night, so we get to hopefully finish strong. And I hope that everyone, if you've got questions, this is your chance to ask them in a sense. I'm not going anywhere, but we are going to take a break next week. So ask away if you have questions this week. Our topic this week is to cover lots of things that I would like for you to remember to do before the end of the year. But we can always go deals to, I kind of completely forgot that today was going to be Green Monday. So it all hit me this weekend as I started getting all of the deal emails. So if you want to talk deals, we can do that too. We've just been talking deals for I don't know, the last month and a half is what it feels like. But there are some that are out there. So if you are very last minute on your shopping, today is a good day to shop. Let's just, hit that for a second. Basically what happened today was two worlds aligned. Normally this Thursday or Friday would have been National Free Shipping Day, but they couldn't really do that because everything is so backed up that if we had National Free Shipping Day at the end of this week, nothing would have made it in time. So we are having National Free Shipping Day along with Green Monday combined today, and that has made for some fun deals around the web. So if you are looking for something, let me know. But in terms of deals, we weren't necessarily going to go there. So hi to everyone that's saying hi to me. Nadine up in Maryland. I'm curious, Nadine, how chilly it is, because today in South Carolina, we were wearing shorts and t-shirts, or some of my kids were. Anyway, we are super warm right now, but I know it's going to get cold again. And Merry Christmas almost to you too, Ellen. And from everyone else, Tennessee, lots of Tennessee and Florida and Georgia. I love seeing you guys join in every Monday night with me. So as we dive in, and Vicki, I see your question already, and that you're, trying to get back into couponing and need all the advice you can get. I'm glad to have you get back in. You're not alone. I've gotten a lot of emails in the last few weeks of folks that are, I've got to get back into this. What's changed? How do I dive back in? So for just a second, not to answer all your questions there because that's a lot, but I will tell you, I'm already planning to just start the year big. So in January, we're going to do numerous online coupon classes that will be live. So planning on 2 Saturdays in January and 2 evenings, not Monday nights, but 2 other evenings in January. So we'll do 4 total online coupon classes in January, and then we will, see what that looks like, whether people are still wanting them in February, and kind of keep going from there. But definitely just got to get me through the holidays, and then we will just kind of go big with live in-person couponing classes start to finish. So hopefully, Vicki, that's going to help you jump back into if you can catch one of those or watch them afterwards, because they're always taped and always saved. That's the joys of live video. But hopefully that will help anyone that is trying to get back into couponing to really just have a whole refresher on how it all works. Okay, so to dive in to everything that I had for tonight, you may not think about it. We are at the end of the year, and yes, there are some deals that we should do deal-wise, but there's also some money-saving things that we should do towards the end of the year too. So to start off with the really big one, no pressure, but tomorrow is the last day for healthcare changes. So if you've been holding out, you've been pondering what you wanted to do, but you haven't made changes, tomorrow is the cutoff for anything. So if you want to switch the plan you're on, if you want to get a whole new plan, you need to make those decisions by tomorrow. If you've not made them yet, I would just do that tonight. I really wouldn't put that off. And one note on this. So if health insurance, I know it's a stickler for a lot of us. It's really not affordable. For our family of 7, it just, the idea of paying the monthly premiums that are out there, it's not doable. I would encourage you, if you are in that boat, to at least consider the Samaritan's Ministries, the MediShare programs that are out there. They are at least something versus nothing. And actually, they're great. We've used them for a number of years. And I would encourage you as well to at least go to healthcare.gov and see if you are eligible. You may be surprised that the cutoffs are actually really high for getting at least some sort of assistance on your monthly payments. So for us, having a big family, it is helpful. The more children you have, that cutoff is just getting higher and higher and higher. I'm not saying we should all go have more children, because 5's a lot. I'll be the first person to admit it. But just so you realize that that is there, you may have never even touched it, but just taking a second, plugging in information and just seeing wouldn't hurt to just see before the cutoff happens tomorrow. Once that cutoff happens, the only way that you can make changes to your health insurance, whether it's healthcare.gov or it's just normal, traditional private insurance, is if you have a baby, if you lose your job, you get married. It's big life events after tomorrow. So don't wait on that one. Kristen, I see your question. Has Harris Teeter started issuing rain checks again? From what I've heard from some folks, it is on a store-by-store basis. I know a few weeks ago, folks were discussing Publix was issuing rain checks. That's not even all Publix is anymore. It's just store-by-store. So you're really just going to have to check with your Harris Teeter and see what they are feeling in terms of supply and demand as to whether or not they're issuing rain checks. Okay, and hi Tawana, we got your Christmas card. Thank you. It was very fun. I don't get Christmas cards from very many people, but I do get a Christmas card every year from Tawana, so thank you. It's always fun, and my kids enjoy it too. Okay, in terms of finances, a few other things. So we've hit health insurance. There's one other thing to not forget, and hopefully if you have one, you have not forgotten, but if you have a flexible spending account. So this is where you put money aside to pay for deductibles, to pay for prescription medications, over-the-counter medications. A flexible spending account, you have to spend that money by the end of the year. If you don't, you lose what you've put aside. So if you've got that flexible spending account money and you need to use it up, think about things, there's a lot of things actually that qualify that you may not realize, but just start to get creative if you need to. You may not even realize it, but you can plug in your flexible spending account information to Amazon. So I can use this all over the place. Stock your medicine cabinet with over-the-counter meds if you've got a lot to use up. New glasses are going to count, contacts, getting things that you would use next year, but just trying to not waste that money. Yes, you're having to burn money if that's the case, but it is much better to use it than to get nothing in the end, to just have it all go and you didn't. So find things to grab if you need to. Hands down, it's just don't waste that money. Now, the other side of that, and that's why I kept over enunciating my letters there, is a health savings account. They're very different avenues of saving money. If you have a health savings account, you do not have to spend that by the end of the year. That's the highlight. That's the perk of a health savings account, is that the money can actually stay there forever. You can use it to get yourself into an old folks home when you're ready for that point. So don't go out and just blow that money. Difference between a health savings account and a flexible spending account. That said, though, if you have a high deductible insurance plan, so you do not have doctor copays, you just have to pay until you have met your deductible, you're eligible for a health savings account, and you should put money into one. So while that does not have to happen by the end of the year, it is something to at least be considering as we go into the end of the year, is how much can I put into one, and do I already have some money put aside, or can we find some money to put aside to make that health savings account a payment? Now, it's more like a deposit. It's not really a payment, but you still want to put that money in. And just to give you what your deadline is, you actually have until April 15th to make this year's payment. So next April 15th. So if you've not set one up, you have to actually open the account by the end of the year. So if you've not opened a health savings account, but you do have a high deductible plan, at least open it by the end of the year. They're free to open, guys. This is like with your bank, or we use one that's online with a company called healthequity.com. You can get them all over the place, but there's no fees. This is just a savings account, basically. You just need to open it by the end of the year. You have until April 15th to fund it for 2020. So you can like back fund it. It's the same way that it works with an IRA, which is your retirement savings account. I can actually fund an IRA until April 15th of next year as well. So I don't have to stop what I'm doing in the middle of December and find this money, but I do need to be thinking about that money so that I could put it aside. Now, one thing to tie this together, and this may be like, woo, she lost me. Let's say that tonight you take my advice and you go and you play around with numbers on healthcare.gov and you're super close, but you're not all the way there. Consider this. Your deposits into an IRA, into a health savings account, they all lower your adjusted gross income. These are tax words, I know, but they lower your adjusted gross income. And so now when I'm trying to get health insurance and trying to see, do I qualify for some help on monthly payments? Those payments that you just put into retirement or you just put into your health savings account, they actually now make you appear to have made less money. They are all pre-tax. Now, depends on what kind of IRA you get to. So you need to go with a traditional IRA if that's what your goal is here, is to lower your adjusted gross income, because that is actually going to potentially make you more eligible for more health insurance coverage. So that's like, you know, we're kind of going really deep in terms of taxes for some of you, but just to mention it, because that is, I mean, for some of you, it's a very large savings. Now, obviously, you have to have the money to put into those accounts to get that savings. So not everyone could do that, but let's just, to give you big numbers here, if you put in IRA money, your husband put in IRA money, and you fully funded an HSA, which can be funded up to, I think it's 7,000 is this year, I didn't Google it, but just rounding up potentially, that's $21,000. Now, not all of us are gonna have $21,000 sitting around, but just to kind of give you that picture of how much we're really talking about being able to put aside in retirement, in health savings, that's all before taxes, which then in effect is all before health insurance is factored in too. So we're gonna stop there. I know that's a lot of taxes, but just so we kind of hit it all, you know, I just want you to realize kind of the potential there if health insurance is crazy expensive. And I guess another way to look at it, if you're talking about the difference between paying $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year, or finding $14,000 to put into retirement, where would you rather spend the money? This isn't a hard decision. You know, I would rather have the money in my retirement account than have to pay for health insurance, if that's really where we're coming down to. But we're not going to go any further. Okay, Kim's got a question though specific on this. Can a child turning 26 in 2021 get health insurance through healthcare.gov or with private companies mid-year, or do they need to sign up under healthcare.gov right now? So Kim, that's a great question, and one that I have to say I may not fully know the right answer to. So there's a little bit of, the big question would be, are they still in school? So if they are no longer in school and they have their own job, then they really, in a sense, should be going in and getting their own account in healthcare.gov, and they can do that now. Now, they're allowed to stay under your family plan until they're 26 if they're still in school, but the cutoff, once they get out of school and they have their own job, is that they would need to then move to their own healthcare.gov plan or their own private insurance, whatever they're deciding to do there. But education is supposed to be one of like the checkoff factors. Is this person a full-time student in the checklist that it's going to go through, or a dependent for you? It's kind of an either or option. So that's the route that I would point you to. That said, it's not too late to call an insurance broker in the morning and ask them the same question and make sure that you know that you're going down the right path, because if you don't sign up tomorrow and they needed to have done it then they're going to have to wait until they found a new job or they had some big life change to be eligible for getting a new plan if that's what they needed to do. Sue, great question. What happens to a health savings account when you die? So when you create a health savings account, you actually will create and give beneficiaries behind it. So it's the same way as any savings account, like an IRA, any other sort of long-term account that you create, you are going to set up a beneficiary for that account. So if I have a health savings account, I don't touch that money. I do plan on it being kind of long-term care, or potentially, you know, the older you get, the more expensive things are getting, your prescriptions, etc. Now you have some money put aside for that. You've got a beneficiary that is assigned to that account as well. So if something horrible happened, they're just going to get that money not as a health savings account, but just as a check, basically. The account would close out and would go to the beneficiary. Let's see, Deborah, do Fireproof safes ever go on sale? We do see them on sale from time to time. You want to check like Sportsman's Warehouse, actually. A lot of times they'll be in with gun safes, strangely, when they run sales on them. We've seen them in the past on Black Friday sales. We'll also keep an eye at Staples and Office Depot. They sell smaller ones. So if you've got one that you want to tuck under the shoes in your closet or wherever you want to keep it, that would be another place to check. In terms of sales at Staples and Office Depot, we've not seen them on sale like for Black Friday or anything like that this year, but they would still apply when Staples is running like a $20 off any $100 purchase coupon, that you could be using those on top of whatever small sale they might be running on that item. Let's see. Christy says some FSAs carry over, right? So Christy, it's going to depend on your FSA plan, but most flexible spending accounts, it is based on when that plan started. So if it's a January 1st, they're going to end on December 31st, and it isn't going to carry over. It depends too on how the plan is set up, whether or not it is if the employer matched what you put in, some of that does not carry over. It's what you put in versus what they put in. You would need to know all of the ins and outs of your plan, but the best scenario or best thing to do is to consider that normally a true flexible spending account does not carry over at the end of the year. So a CVS question, Mikkel's asking, when ordering online with CVS for a buy 30, get $10 worth, does the 98% rule work? Typically what I have found, Mikkel, is that it does not work. And when ordering online at CVS, this one gets a lot of people. That $30 requirement, it's going to end up being after coupons. In the store, it would be before coupons. But if you've got any digital coupons or store coupons that you want to pair in, you're going to have to still spend $30 after those coupons to be able to get that extra care buck. So just watch out for that one too. Vicky trying to jump in and get started here. Should I order coupon inserts? And if so, how far back should I order them? You could order some, Vicky. I really wouldn't go back further than just a couple of weeks though, because we're about to have a really big gap. We're not going to have any inserts in this coming Sunday's paper. We're going to have one insert in the December or the paper that's right after Christmas. And then we're going to get huge. The first week in January always has 5 to 6 inserts. So you could get a couple, but really don't go too far back. A chunk of what we get in the end of November and December all expires on January 31st. So don't waste your money on coupons that won't work come January. Instead, you're kind of in this holding pattern for the next couple of weeks. That's kind of why I'm also planning on our couponing workshops being in January. Because we don't see huge sales at the end of December, but we also don't get any coupons either. So you might just kind of want to decide, maybe I'm going to hold off and we'll just go big in January rather than jumping into coupons now. Can I share how to tell if an online site is legit or secure to order from? So me mentioning that it almost caught us the other week. I know I got a couple emails from people asking me, is this site okay? Is this site okay? Yes, so a few things to look for if you are ordering from a site and things that you may not have ever really noticed on your web browser. So if we're looking at a web browser, and I know it's going to be super tiny if you're looking on your phone, but But up here where you would normally type in your URL, if you are on a secure site, so we'll just pull up Southern Savers here, it better be there. You will see right here, super tiny, right there is a lock symbol that tells you that this site is secure. Now that's very easy for any site to do. So that doesn't necessarily tell me that that site is legit. It's at least just telling me that the information that I put into this site is secure. It can't be interfered, I guess, as you type in your credit card information and send it. It technically can't be seen by somebody else. The other things to look for are the actual URL that you're on. So am I on Nintendo.com? Or am I on, something.nintendo.com? Or a Nintendo dot something else. So all of a sudden I'm on this subdomain. That's really what we would call that. So when you're realizing that I'm not necessarily on the exact page, it actually makes me want to see if I can pull up the same site that that almost cut us. So we'll just do a general hunt. And my husband's saying that he can't even find it. But if you're sitting here and you're looking at various pages and hunting, I want to look at the URL that I'm on. For us, the big blaring moment was when there was no sales tax. All of a sudden you're checking out and we can't get there. Here we go. He just shared the link with me. So this was the site that we were on, and it's gone now, which is great. That's our goal. But this was Nintendo Switch .somethingelse.com. It's really a subdomain of another URL. It's not a legit site that you're on at that point. Look at where the social media links are going. There's a number of things you can do. Now, if you want to go even deeper, if you're really, really concerned that the site you're on, like maybe it's a crazy good deal, is this a real deal or is this not? The easiest thing to do is really to take that URL that you're on and go to the Better Business Bureau and put in the URL of where you are on the Better Business Bureau site and see what comes up. Does anything come up first off? Because if nothing comes up, is this an actual company that's even been around very long? Potentially not. Or you're going to get a lot of fraud claims or whatever else, or it's going to be great. But that can be also another resource to know whether or not you're actually in the right place. Most large websites, you're going to be fine. It's just when you start to get on that subdomain, that's really should be your big glaring moment. Okay, Barbara Cooper, I've had trouble with Kohl's twice in the last 2 weeks. 2 different orders I did online. After a couple days, they canceled my purchase because items were no longer available. So Barbara, Kohl's has always had problems with their inventory in the past. You're not alone. And really this is across the board. Someone that helps me out actually with the site, she sent me a message like, have I seen any deals on Barbie dream houses? Because she's ordered 5 different dream houses and all 5 of them have been canceled from different places after she's placed the order. So this isn't just a Kohl's issue. Really what this is coming down to are that stores, now that they're managing store inventory along with online inventory and they're allowing you to kind of purchase from both buckets, this is just a logistical nightmare for them. Did the store actually ring everything up correctly? Did they scan everything in when it got, So there's a lot of moving parts that can always mess up those numbers. Now, that said, Kohl's has not really ever been able to figure this out through the years. So you're not alone. I ordered a Nintendo Switch that we gave away as a prize during all of our Thanksgiving prizes. And I just sat there like, please, please do not cancel this order. And thankfully it did come through. But I mean, even I knew that I was playing kind of Russian roulette there as to whether or not I was actually going to get that order from Kohl's, because they are known for canceling big ticket items. And there's not much you can do other than just hunt for another deal. And I'm sorry that it happened, but you're not alone. Hopefully that helps a tiny little bit. And Vicki, if it does not have a lock, it does not have a secure site certificate. So this is something that has to be done on the back end of a site. It has to be applied at like the server side, basically. My husband would be the one that comes in and explains all of that, because he is a like cyber security, all of that person for us. But that is what that lock means, that it is secure, that it is running with that secure certificate behind it, that Google can see that, or that your web browser can see that. So you'll see that lock on Chrome, on Firefox, on whatever web browser you're using to tell you that you are on a secure site. Now, not every site needs to be secure. So Southern Savers is secure because Google requires that, or we wouldn't show up. If you tried to search Southern Savers in Google search, you wouldn't see us, because that was one of the changes they made to Google search. But we don't really need to be secure. You're not entering any payment information into Southern Savers. But just so you know, if you want to search item search, no one will know that you search for peanut butter. I mean, maybe that's the way you should look at it. But no, not every site needs to have it. But the sites that you're checking out on, if I'm entering payment information, it needs to have a lock. This could also be a great moment. I don't work for them, but a really good moment to just plug PayPal and some of the other ways to pay online that is not your credit card. Because now when I pay through PayPal, my credit card information was never given to the company. It still could be a fraudulent order. You could still, I guess, technically check out with a company that wasn't a legit company, but they never got your personal information. They just got your PayPal information, and PayPal did all of the rest of that. So consider that, guys. It really is a way to stay a little bit safer online with your payment information. Okay. So as we dig in, I'm just looking at, y'all are having your own conversation, trying to kind of weed out questions for questions versus how other folks are answering. So thank you guys for answering questions too. Jay, if you want to order inserts, there's a number of websites that you can order coupon inserts from. I personally use Sunday Coupon Inserts, that's plural.com. And they come every Monday in the mail. I just got them. And lately they've been coming on the weekends, but now that we're into the holiday season, Monday was good enough. Glad to see them in my mailbox today. So that is how you can do it. Okay. To jump back to a few other things that I have on my list, and I will get back to questions too. Hopefully I've not missed any big questions so far, but feel free to ask them again if we did miss them. So we've hit health insurance, got to do that by tomorrow. Health savings accounts, you actually have until April to fund it, but you need to open it by the end of the year. Now, I mentioned IRAs. You actually have until April to fund those as well. And technically with an IRA, you can open that next year too. You don't have to open that this year. One other thing though that I would encourage you, if you're looking at ways to save for your kids' college, is funding a 529 plan. And that you need to go ahead and open. Some states will allow you to fund that up until you file your state income taxes. Some states do not. So you need to find out with your state what their rules are for their 529 funding. A 529 plan is a college savings account. It can be for you, it can be for your kids. It's just for higher education. And it does not give you any federal tax benefits whatsoever. It does give you state tax benefits that in some states differ based on where you live, but in most states, it counts as a deduction from your gross income in the state. So it is a considerable way to save state income taxes, no federal tax savings, but to still get some money put aside for college for anyone. So you should fund that one too. While we're funding all these accounts, add that one to the list or consider it. One thing also with 529 plans, I think a lot of folks think big. When I mention, like you should fund an IRA and you should get this, and we're talking big money. Guys, all of these could be really small amounts. Even $50 is still $50 that you put aside. So don't look at these terms and think that they need to be in the thousands. If you can put in, let's say you put in $50 a month into your IRA. So at the end of the year, you put in $600. No, it's not the $7,000 that you could have put in, but you still put in something. And that is way better than putting in nothing. So don't look at these and think that they don't apply to you, because they really do. We can all find that $25 or $50 a month. I know you can do that. And in the end, you've got money put aside. And the more that you put aside now, the more that grows. That's the joy of compound interest. And that's like math class. So we aren't even going to go there. But just so you realize, I am not trying to, don't think big. Think as little as you need to think, but you still go ahead and you open the accounts and you still get started in whatever amounts that you can handle. Okay. So to jump a few questions specifically in terms of when to buy certain items. Kara wants to know best time to buy workout equipment. It's definitely January. We see some deals around Black Friday, but beyond that, they're kind of over at this point. Just wait. Let everyone turn over a new leaf and wait for the sales that come with all those new leaves that get turned over. Best time to purchase an iPhone, Deb, is probably right now. We do have a number of gift card deals that are running at various places around town, and we've also got some big incentives from AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, whoever your provider is. Consider changing providers because that would give you crazy good deals. I don't know, change every year if you need to. But that's where the real deals are, is opening a new line. You're talking free phones from Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, that they're all offering when you switch plans. And best time to purchase a mattress. So Megan, mattresses, furniture, those types of items all fall under patriotic holidays. That's kind of the big go-to. So you're looking for 3-day weekends. That would be, I guess our next one potentially could be MLK, President's Day, Memorial Day. Those are the big weekends. I don't know if you want to wait all the way to Memorial Day, but that gives you an idea of what you're looking for anyway. 3-day weekends are always key for mattresses. Black Friday did have some sales too, but those are also over by now. I don't know that I would jump on any in the next week and a half. Okay. Going back to my list, there are some things that are much smaller. So we've been in healthcare and taxes. This one you may not have thought of, but before the end of the year, you need to buy your baking goods. So all of our baking goods are going to be on sale through this coming ads. Some of our stores will extend them into right after January 1st. But after that point, come the first ad of the new year, baking goods. So we're talking flour, not sugar, sugar doesn't count in, but yeast, all of those items, chocolate morsels, whatever it is that you want from that section, they're all on sale right now. We have coupons for some of them. They will not be back on sale until April. And that's really, really sad. So if you like to bake at all, you need to grab them now before the end of the year. Because it's a long stretch until April and you're going to be really sad. Let's talk deals that are going to end here. So one big one is Publix Stocking Spree. If you are a Publix shopper, if you have been entering your your receipts into Stocking Spree, I'll pull up the website just so you see what I'm talking about. So this is stockingspree.com is the website. Stocking Spree, you submit pictures of your receipts to their website every time you shop in Publix, and you can earn $10 Publix gift cards up to 12 gift cards for the whole year. So, I mean, ultimately, that's like a gift card a month if you wanted to look at it that way. And it is on a number of products. So, Kraft, Nabisco, P&G, and PepsiCo products. And some of these you may not even realize PepsiCo sells Aunt Jemima, and they sell Lipton and Quaker Oats. They have lots of brands there. So not Pepsi. Pepsi's actually not included in this rebate system. But this is an easy $10 Publix gift card back. Now, the reason I mention it now, yes, you could actually start and get a $10 gift card before the end of the year. But really the big incentive here is that this does not carry over. So if you log into your account and you see, oh, wow, I'm like $8 away from another $10 Publix gift card, you should shop in Publix and get that receipt uploaded so that you can go ahead and finish out the next gift card. You're gonna be really sad when it all turns off. If you've just been starting this year doing this, just to give you a heads up, it usually kind of comes down the entire month of January. We see it come back up like mid-February. They take their time, but you can come back and you can enter your January receipts once it comes back online. So come the new year, hold on to your receipts. Don't just throw them away, because once this comes back on, you can get them into the system, even though the system wasn't live at the beginning of the year. So just be ready for that it does come down, but it always comes back. And usually we just see them change out, like swap out a few brands here and there, but not really a ton of changes. In terms of this, eventually by the end of the year, you learn what's in the list, but even for me, I still have to check it. It's a long list of just random items and not every item that brand makes. So just Publix folks, make sure you don't miss it. There are a few other things that don't roll over either. So my folks that are in CVS and you're using your CVS Beauty Club rewards, those do not roll over to next year. You can see where you are in your CVS account. So pull up the CVS app. You can also see this online, but you will see where your thresholds are. So if I'm in the app, and I should have hooked up my phone here, you can see I'm under my coupons right now, but over here to the side, oh, sorry, wrong side, I always forget, right here, it says rewards tracker. So if you click on that, you will see where you stand with Beauty Club reward, with pharmacy rewards, all of that, every single thing that you're grabbing. So for me, I have 96 cents towards my next Beauty Club reward. I actually grabbed some things today, so that will put me a little bit more towards the next reward. But if you're super close to your next Beauty Club reward, then you wanna pull this up and you wanna check. Now in CVS, if you have no clue what I'm talking about, every $30 that you spend in beauty care, you earn a $3 extra care buck, basically a $3 Beauty Club reward back. So if you look at that reward tracker and you see like, oh, I'm $2 away, you should go grab something for $2 because you're gonna get a $3 reward back for spending your $2. That's a pretty good deal. So don't miss that one. There are some other rewards that you may or may not participate in. L'Oreal mascara. For me, it's telling me that I have 3 more that I need to buy. So basically when you buy 4 mascaras, you get a 5th for free. So at some point this year I bought 1, and I guess if I really wanted to do this, I could go and grab more. Probably wouldn't. But your mascara deals, if you get hair color, you will see that track as well. All of the things that you're currently tracking will be right there under rewards tracker. So look in the CVS app or look online so that you don't miss those. Same for Walgreens and Walgreens Beauty Enthusiast, that you don't miss that as well. None of it carries over. So come to January 1st, that Beauty Club reward is going to reset and be back at 0. And I don't want this to be an I told you so moment. So you at least heard it. I'm giving you the reminder to at least check it. We're right here towards the end of the year. You may have 1 or 2 trips left. Knock it out while you're in the store. Now, speaking of that, the other thing that I would encourage you to look at before the end of the year is rebates. So whether you head to the database on Southern Savers or kind of however you hunt this down, if you head to the coupon database that is on Southern Savers, you can type in the word rebate and you will see all of the current rebates that are there. There are a few. There's a couple for Pampers. There's a big P&G online rebate. Most of the rebates that we have do not carry over into the new year. So a free 12-pack of basic hard seltzer, you can grab that one too. But for example, this Procter & Gamble rebate right here, buy $50 worth of P&G products, get a $15 Visa gift card back. This ends on 12/31. Now this rebate's been going since September, so for some of you, you've already long met it, but for others, if you haven't, finish it. This can be on multiple receipts. It doesn't even need to be on the same receipt. No reason not to finish this before the end of the year. Little heads up here, this guy, lots of overlapping products with Stocking Spree, so anyone that's in Publix, just do them both. In Publix, you're going to get a $10 back in Publix and a $15 back from the mail-in rebate. It's a pretty sweet deal at that point. And a lot of it is like Tide and Downy and other products that you might already be grabbing. So just don't miss any of those rebates that are running, even the basic hard seltzer if you want to go there. And, you know, kind of got your moment. We'll see all new rebates coming out in the new year, but don't miss the end of the year rebates for those. One other, in terms of things to grab around town, since we are talking before the end of the year, we're technically going to see this come another week and a half from now. but I felt like it should be thrown in, and that's Christmas deals, Christmas clearance deals. So as soon as Christmas is over, that is your like go time to grab wrapping paper, everything else that you need for next year. Most Christmas clearance deals, by the time January 1st rolls around, they're done. Stores have already clearanced everything down pretty quickly to just get it out, and they realize that folks are done thinking about Christmas. So they do not hold on to their Christmas clearance as long as they hold on to other holiday clearance. Just be ready for that to go, like Walgreens and CVS, to go almost to 75% off within just a matter of days, compared to sometimes you'll be like, wow, we're on week 2 and week 3. That doesn't happen with Christmas clearance. Much, much faster than we see with other holidays. So just be ready if there are things that you're watching for. For me, just to give you guys some tips too, I grab our wrapping paper for sure. Tape is always included in that, so look for tape clearance, the little gift tag clearance, all those items. But the other things to look for, the little tiny things that you would normally put in stocking stuffers. So for us, our kids love like the little squishimals, little tiny things. Even the little Hatchimal, the tiny toys that you would normally put in stockings. Most stores do not stock those year round. They know that that's a stocking stuffer item. That's the only time that they bring them in. And we see some pretty sweet clearances on those items as well. So hopefully you already have somewhere in your house that is your like hidey hole for where I can stick things all year long. But so much of what ends up in our stockings in December, I bought last January on clearance, because these stores are getting rid of all of it. They do not carry stocking stuffers year round. They have a much smaller toy section. So, when I'm saying this, I'm not necessarily meaning Target. They are going to run a great toy clearance, but I really am meaning like Walgreens, CVS, your grocery stores, where they bring in these toys, but they don't sell these items all year long. That is crazy good clearance time to be grabbing for next Christmas or birthdays throughout the year. So just don't miss it. It will start literally the day after Christmas, but it'll continue most of the whole week after Christmas before the new year. So no pressure, but at least try to hit some of it if you can. So best time to buy office supplies, looking for an EcoTank printer. So if you're wanting a specific item, it's tricky. I will tell you in general, printer deals, we've not really seen much at all this year because everybody came home in March and everybody bought printers. So most of them went out of stock and none of them came back on sale. So honestly, the longer you can wait, the better on these items. Typically, they would have been great items for back to school sales and Black Friday. Now, obviously, that's really far away for you at this point. So it might just be waiting for coupon codes. There's not specifically like a spring printer sale that's going to come out. 3-day weekends, looking for those big sale items on big ticket items from here on is kind of your best bet. I don't think you're going to see any crazy good deals though before the end of the year. It's office supplies, and that is an area where they've almost not needed to market because they've been in such demand as folks have been setting up their own home offices this year. So it kind of hurts us all. Lynn saying, my CVS only gets a truck once every 2 weeks. Is that the case for most CVS stores? So most CVS stores get multiple trucks each week, Lynn. So kind of surprising that they would only get trucks every 2 weeks. And CVS could be, having some shipping issues as well. But typically there's 1 large truck a week and 2 smaller trucks in most areas, or definitely in bigger areas. It could depend just on how much traffic your store is getting as well in terms of shoppers, but that's a normal amount. Barbara says, how old will they accept a receipt? So I'm going to guess you mean Publix Stocking Spree there, Barbara. And that is a really good question. I know come February, when they turn it back on, that you can submit receipts all the way back until January 1st. But I have to say I'm a little, you're making me question. So I'm going to sit here and see if I can find it in their terms. It is good for the whole year. So I'm not sure if they would allow you to go super far back. gonna see what we can find. Yeah, there's not really a cutoff throughout the year, even in their terms and conditions. I don't necessarily see anything that says that it has to be from a certain time period. So if you've got Publix receipts that you've been hanging on to for a chunk of the year, I mean, it's really, the dates are January 1st to December 31st. For every $50 that you spend, you get a $10 Publix gift card. So if you've got some file folder of every Publix receipt that you've taken this year, go for it and upload them all. I don't see why they would kick them out, and I can't see anything in their terms and conditions that even has a date that would be keeping you. Now, for the P&G rebate, if that was your question, that this P&G rebate is specifically from September 27th until December 31st. So it would need to be receipts inside the last 3 months. But the stocking spree, it's really for the whole year, so have fun. Okay, so hopefully I've hit most of your questions too. If I've missed any others, please let me know. Oh, and Betsy, that's so fun. So I just saw your oldest just had her twin girls on the 2nd. So excited. That's just a very fun time, and I'm glad that you can be there to help because it was a blur for us when our twin girls were born. So you just let her get some rest and be the sweet grandmother. That's so fun that you get to be there for that. We joke in our world that when our twins were born, we had a fish and he died because we could not remember to even feed him. We were just doing well enough to keep our 2 new people alive, and poor Zerubbabel, the fish, didn't make it. Since then, we're much better fish owners, but those were a rough few months. Kristen, when is the best time to buy new flooring for my home? So anything that is that large ticket item that we're gonna end up in a home improvement store, from here on, it's a 3-day weekend. So aim for that if you can. We may see some good sales in Home Depot and Lowe's for the new year, for that January 1st ad. Sometimes they kind of try to cash in on the fact that a lot of people are home for the holidays and that they're potentially going to use their vacation time to do home improvement projects. That's what most of us do, right? So we could see some good sales around that point. Another site to at least keep your eye on is Lumber Liquidators. If you have one that's nearby or in a reasonable amount of time that you could drive to one, see what kind of sales they're running. But 3-day weekends typically give us the lowest prices on all of those types of items that y'all are asking for. Let's see. Are artificial trees on sale after Christmas? Yes, Stacy, they are. Sometimes though, those artificial Christmas tree clearance deals, they're actually before Christmas. So Target, for example, already has all of their artificial trees on 30% off clearance. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Target hit 70% off before Christmas. So don't hold out too long. Keep an eye on them, kind of keep watching the prices and seeing what they're doing. But Target specifically, this week's ad actually says trees are on clearance, 30% off. So that's not even like a hit and a miss. That is across the board. Trees are already on clearance. So trying to get in and grab what you can. And looking online too. Remember, most of these stores, especially Target, will have their store inventory available online for you to do an online for in-store pickup. So this way, now I don't have to run Target to Target trying to catch what I can. I can actually grab the deal online and just have that item for myself if I wanted to. And Barbara, where do you sign up for Stocking Spree? So if you go to stockingspree.com, that will let you create an account for Stocking Spree for the Publix rewards. It's basically what it is, a rewards program for everything that you're going to grab at Publix. And there are actually some other online rebates that are available through Publix too. So looking at like Tylenol products and going to healthyessentials.com, they run things too, but Stocking Spree is the one that we've been discussing here for a bit. Oh, and that's great. Wendy says she got a Ninja Foodie at Kohl's, used it for the first time tonight. Girls taking hamburgers, and that it was amazing and husband approved. Good to know. So anyone else that's asked for one for Christmas, Wendy is giving you a heads up that it's going to be great. So we don't have one of those here, but maybe we should ask for one for Christmas as well. Put that on my list. Okay. Now, one other thing that I had on my list, but feel free to ask any other questions that I wanted you to at least do. So this was our 10th item as I was coming up with 10 things to do before the end of the year. I know that some people don't like this word, but as we hit the end of the year, this is the perfect time to look at this year's budget, see how you did, and start to think about next year's budget. We'll go there. That's always a Q&A topic in January, is getting your budget straight. I have a feeling there are some categories that we all did amazing in this year. Odds are you spent a lot less gas than you normally do, put a lot less miles on your car. Hopefully you took my advice months ago and you lowered your car insurance because of that. So if you did not call and say, hey, we're reducing the amount that we use our cars, you should have. But factor that into next year's budget. Odds are you will be back to your normal gas usage, hopefully, for some of us, back to all the activities or the trips that you would normally take. But that definitely had an impact on some categories. There were some categories that were just going to be abnormally low this year. For other people, maybe there were categories that were abnormally high. All of a sudden, your house electricity bills, where you were gone all day long at work and now you weren't. So think about those things. And if I'm going to sit here and use this year's numbers for next year's budget, that some of those categories are going to change, but this is a great time to just be getting an idea of how you did. Maybe you had no budget this year. If that's you, then this is a great time to start playing with like mint.com or some of the free budget sites and start downloading all your bank statements to them and categorizing them, seeing where your money's gone. Now, don't try to do that for all of 2020. That's a lot of bank statements to go through here in the last 2 weeks, but at least plug in, maybe November and December. Let's plug in 2 months worth if you've not been doing any sort of budgeting so that you've got some kind of idea. Because having this little starting moment, spending a little, an hour, 2 hours now will significantly help you get an idea of where you want your 2021 budget to be, what you want to set your goals for. You need a goal. Budgets need goals. And that goal isn't that you put a ton of money in savings and you just leave it there. They need fun goals. For me, they do anyway. So a budget for me needs we are doing this so that we can do something else. I'm very trip oriented. So that's usually my motivation, but whatever it is for you, that you've put something behind why you're trying to save money, why you're trying to budget, even down to the reason we coupon, guys. Because if you don't have a reason, if you're just doing it because it's kind of fun, that's great, but you won't keep doing it. If you're doing it because you have to do it, this is the way that we shop, then you're going to stick with it for ages. For us, we're going into year 15 of couponing, which is just crazy. Makes me kind of feel ancient in the couponing world, but I really started when I was really young, if that helps. So year 15 of couponing for us is 2021, but you got to just stick with it and you got to have a reason that you're sticking with it. So that would be my focus for you too, as you go into the end of the year, is getting a glimpse of how this year's budget went, at least getting a handle on some budget if you've not done any, so that you can start to think about next year's budget and start 2021 with an idea of where your money's going and how you want to be saving more of it, or how you're going to go about saving more of it. It's huge. Allie, what do I think about the stock market right now? I think that in general with the stock market, my husband and I have very different approaches, but he's probably the best. And that is that in general, it's best to just put your money somewhere. And he likes to say, don't even look at it. But it's typically, if you just let it sit there, it usually works out in the end. We are not investing in specific companies, except in my Robinhood account. I do play in my Robinhood account. But typically investing in mutual funds that are more long-term focused. If you lost money earlier this year when the stock market crashed, but you left your money where it was, you've probably made all of what you lost back and then some. So I know that our IRAs, it wasn't pretty. My husband doesn't ever look I tend to look at least once a week. So we're very different on that standpoint, but we did lose a chunk, but it's all back. So it's one of those where you just have to not necessarily look at it and be concerned, but just remember that retirement savings anyway, if that's what we're talking about specifically for the stock market, is a long-term game. It's not a short-term game. So don't get concerned. Just play for the long term, and it will typically work out fine. Okay. And then Lynn, will I pick back up doing Publix haul videos? Yes, I actually had planned to do one last week, Lynn. I went to Publix. We saved a ton of money in Publix, and I felt so bad, but I was not feeling well at all. And so by the time I came home, I had no energy left to do anything. And so my husband was very sweet. My kids put away all the groceries, and I just went and laid down. But I was going to show you guys, and I meant to even put it into a story. We saved so much money that the receipt was as long as my Mary Rose. So it was as long as my 12-year-old in terms of how much we saved. And I took that as we were walking out of Publix, and a gentleman walked past me and said, "That's as long as a CVS receipt." Like, yes, it is. So he made me laugh. But we saved over $245. $251.51 at the store, and then got back over like another $35 just in mobile apps. So it's a fun week. If you've not shopped the Publix deals, it's a fun week at Publix. They end tomorrow. A new ad starts on Wednesday in our area. But I do hope to get back into them on a regular basis. And I was pretty sad to not be able to do that one last week, but it just didn't have it in me. So I will try my hardest in January to kind of make that a weekly effort to do those videos. And we will keep going with drugstore videos as we have been. Okay. Oh, and Vicky's asking, what is Robinhood? So Robinhood is a mobile app that lets you play in the stock market. And there are no fees related to Robinhood. So you don't pay to buy or sell a share. You can just invest in whatever share you want. You can buy one share of something. You can even buy a half share of something if you wanted to. So I joke with my husband, but you can have good days and you can have bad days. But here's one example of me wishing I had way more money. I own one share of Moderna. I don't know if any of you guys know who that is, but they are one of the folks that created one of the vaccines for COVID. Theirs is not the one that has gone through yet through the FDA, but is about to. So I bought this one share at $70 a share. It's now worth $155. I only bought one share because it was all that I could really afford. And yes, it's doubled in value, but you just sit there and you're like, oh, if only I'd been able to buy 10, or just don't think about it. But that's fun for me. So I enjoy just randomly looking up companies and grabbing a share here and there, and fun to be able to see that, my total profit on that one share is $82.62 is pretty sweet. So today it has not done, it has gone down. My husband's saying, why is the graph backwards? It's probably because I'm holding the phone backwards. I don't know, but there's the view of the last month. You can see it even over the last year. Kind of fun to have purchased low. So that's Robinhood. If you're interested, I can actually share a link with you guys. Don't normally promote, but I can share a link with you. I'll put it in the comments if you want, and you will get a free stock when you sign up if you want to play in Robinhood. So kind of fun. So as you play around, let's see, I'm grabbing it now so I can stick it in the comments for you guys. As long as you just go through this link and you sign up, you get a free stock. And then if you share your link once you have signed up, you can also get a free stock or from a friend. So once you get signed up in Robinhood, you'll get a link to share with people, and you can share that with friends and get free stocks from them as well. So kind of fun to keep building your free stocks if you want. So that's my play. As I mentioned, our IRAs are invested in mutual funds, but I do play a little bit in Robinhood just because I enjoy it. I'm a financial person. I like to do taxes. I'm one of those weird people, so I enjoy kind of getting to play a little bit too. So there we go. My husband just copied and pasted that. I had to send it to him from my phone. It is truly a mobile app, so it's kind of a fun way to play with it. Okay. I think we're there. We kind of we've hit right at an hour. If I have a question that you guys feel like I did not hit, feel free to let me know. But hopefully I've hit everybody. And thank you guys. I do feel much better now. We all have just issues. Don't worry, I didn't have COVID. I just was completely out of energy, and lots of other, we all have issues that we don't just share with the world. So we're good now. Okay, and I just switched volume, so sorry if that was not working for you. And Barbara, it may be on your side, but I just completely changed up my microphone, and it says that it's working for me, so hopefully it's working for other people too. Okay, so I will be back on tomorrow for our normal Tuesdays at 2 to go through drugstores. Next Monday, we will not have a Q&A. It is the Monday before Christmas. It's also our anniversary, so we're going to go, hang out, and no offense, but it doesn't make for a very fun anniversary to hang out in separate rooms. So not going to do a Q&A next Monday night. What I am going to do is actually switch things up, and we're going to do our drugstore video on Monday next week. So that's part of the reason that I normally do drugstores on Tuesdays, is that I'm already live on Monday with you. So we're going to do drugstores on Monday at 2 instead of Tuesday at 2. Just really going to mess you all up. But that way we get drugstores done as we get closer to Christmas. If there are some deals that you want to grab, you've got a little bit more time to grab them before Christmas holidays come. And then we'll get back into our normal routine after the holidays. And I will try my best to do a Publix video just for you guys in the next week too. So you'll see me for that as well. So we'll be on for drugstores. Not on for a Q&A, and then we'll be back to normal life after the holidays. So I hope if I don't see you between now and then that you have a great Christmas, that you get some time with friends and with family, even if it's through a glass wall, but hopefully you're going to still get together and just have some fun. And I thank you guys for hanging out with us this year, and I look forward to saving a ton of money in 2021 with all of you. So keep hanging out, keep coming back. We're going to dive back into couponing if you're trying to get started. Going to do live couponing classes like I mentioned in the beginning, and a lot more. So thanks for spending the night with us and the year with us, for all of you guys that have been watching for a while too. And if I don't catch you between now and then, I will see you again.